you smile. Think about what you're committed to in life right now. Think about the people that love you. Think about who you love in your life right now. And then make sure you guys are writing down your goals this morning. 5 achievable, attainable goals that you are going to accomplish today. I'm telling you, when you write down 5 things that you're going to do today and you mark those things off, the feeling of accomplishment is so powerful. And then I want you guys to think about what you can do today to improve your relationships in your family, in your friends, with your potentials, in your team. What are you going to do today that's going to improve your relationships? We skip over this sometimes and we get complacent with the people that love us. And I think it's really important, especially on Friday, Flex Friday, when we're showering out into the world how great we feel and how blessed we are to have found this community and these products. To remember that we've never arrived. We're never at our final destination. We're always growing. So what are you going to do today to improve those relationships? And then just real quickly before we move on, at the end of my night, I always ask myself, what have I given today? What have I learned today? Did I allow things to flow today without trying to control the outcome, which is so incredibly important. We can do all the right things. We can say all the right words. We can talk to all the right people, but we can't control the outcome. And sometimes we get too caught up in the outcome instead of just the do. Today, we're just going to do. We're not going to focus on the outcome. We're going to do our reach outs. We're going to do our follow-ups. We're going to post on social media. We're going to share what we have our hands on. And we're not going to think about the outcome. That's not up to us. The yeses or the nos aren't up to us. And then I asked myself, what was I grateful for today? And what's the best thing that happened to me? And I think that's really important. Start your day with gratitude, end it with gratitude. Make sure that every single day we are taking the time for ourselves. And I'm super excited about today because we have 2 incredible rock stars that are going to fill your cup today and that inspire me every single day. So I think it's going to be a really great Friday. So moving on to, if you guys want to drop some of those things, what you're grateful for, what you're committed to, what you're enjoying, what you're proud of, and light up the comments with love and positivity, that would be awesome. So right now we are almost halfway through the last month of bonus season. And today I wanted to talk about funks, time management, and growing our business with new promoters. This is the time in the bonuses where people a lot of times lose momentum or they lose the drive. It's really easy to be motivated January 7th when things like this drop. But it's also very easy to fall out of that. And if, you haven't accomplished what you thought you were going to, you're not where you thought you'd be, and you have some idea in your head, a lot of times we pretend that we know better than the universe, or we know better what our plan is. And we have to reground ourselves and remind ourselves that, we don't always have control about that, but we have control what we do today. We have control of the impact that we make today. I was doing a training on the algorithm, and 4.75 billion pieces of content are created on Facebook every day. 4.75 billion pieces of content and 510,000 comments every 60 seconds, over 500,000 comments every 60 seconds. So we have this window, where we know that 8% of our Facebook friends see our posts. We have this window to be really aggressive right now and share something that can change a lot of lives and have a lot of impact on a lot of people. And now is not the time to get complacent. Now is not the time to start second guessing ourselves or overthinking our post or doubting ourselves or doubting our potential. Now is the time to ramp it up. We have a lot of month left to make an impact, but that only happens with aggressive consistency. So today, I hope you guys get some awesome tips and things that you can implement for the rest of the month to make things happen, because we have a lot of lives to change. So starting with funks, and this is something that we all are going to go through. It's a normal part of life. It's a normal part of business. And I don't think we talk about it enough, to be honest with you. I think this is something that we a lot of people are afraid to talk about. A lot of people are afraid to say, I'm in a weird place. I don't feel that excitement. I don't feel that drive. Um, Fast, crazy momentum is the hardest thing to get to, and it's the easiest thing to lose, right? Like, we're going to have peaks and valleys of our business, and somehow we think that being in the little valleys that we all go through normally is like taboo, and we don't talk about it. But it's such an important part of everything that we do, from being a parent or a friend or your job. In this business, we all are going to go through those. So I think it's really important to start with that. I'm going to shoot this over to Leonela if she wants to unmute and talk just a little bit about how you get out of funks, how you push through those, how you stay consistent through those. What are some things that you do?
Good morning, guys. So, this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about because it's something that I continuously struggle with, and we are all are going to continue struggling with. But something that has like recently opened my eyes is in the beginning of this month, I was starting to deal with the emotions of like feeling unworthy or incapable of being a 12K. And like, you always want to get to the next goal. And the next goal is always going to seem intimidating. And they say with like, new levels comes new devils. And it's more of the fear-based thoughts that come into mind. So I really had to dig deep. And when I start to get like that, I really have to be mindful of what I'm filling my cup with. So I knew that I needed to, first of all, ground myself. I was not grounding myself. Or taking the time to be in a meditative state. I needed to fill my cup up with listening to positive podcasts, reading books, self-development books. And something that completely like changed my perspective was a part so I'm reading this book it's an addition to The Secret, and it's called The Greatest Secret. And I'm going to read a part of the book here, and then I'm going to read the part that like really opened my eyes. So it says the greatest secret revealed. It says, so close you can't see it. So subtle your mind can't understand it. So simple you can't believe it. So good you can't accept it. Why is it so few have discovered the truth? Why haven't the majority of us realized who we are? How can billions of people have missed something so vitally important to our happiness? We've missed discovering the greatest secret because of one small obstacle, a belief. Just a single belief has prevented us from making the greatest discovery we can make. That belief is that we are our body and our mind. And another part of the takeaway for me was that right here it says, the fact that it doesn't feel natural to you to be what you imagine yourself to be is the secret to your failure. Okay, that completely changed the game for me. I was like, whoa. I have to start being in that space that I am worthy of 40K. I am capable of being 40K. So yesterday I really took the time to visualize that for myself. It was a really nice day out here in upstate New York. So I took advantage of, sometimes it's okay to unplug for your mental health, but it's getting back in the game, you guys. So I took time in the morning to really meditate, to visualize, to journal. And then I went about my day, and then I could feel myself again slipping under those like emotions of fear. So I told myself, I'm like, I just need to unplug. I need to leave. My phone was about to die. I'm like, I feel like this is a message for me to recharge. I went outside, I laid out under the sun, and I just could feel myself being in this state of gratitude of already receiving 40K, you guys. So to me, I felt like that little message, like really changed a lot of things for me. And it's like opening up the gateway for me to really manifest what it is. And that goes for anything that you want to manifest, any kind of goal. Um, so let me see, I have all these notes here. um, yeah, just, get yourself out of the victim mode. Stop complaining. Stop feeling like you're being overwhelmed. It just takes, like, just take a minute to breathe and realize the thoughts that are just running into your head, and just redirecting. That's really what it's all about. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, this kind of goes in with the time management. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. And also, you guys, like, find the time to do the things that you need to do. Like, you are the key to unlocking the success in your business. Okay. Nobody's going to make that time for you. And with that being said, like, also don't be afraid to say no sometimes. That's something that I'm learning too. I'm a big time people pleaser. I want to try to make everybody happy. And with being such a positive person, like, you become a light. And with being a light, you are literally going to attract all kinds of people. People want to be around you. And like I said, I've realized that, and I try to spend my time with people because I know I'm a good influence in their life. But I've been learning that I need to protect my peace and my time as well too, to actually, you know, sit down and focus and plan for my business. Because if we fail to plan, we plan to fail, So I kind of feel like I'm going all over the place, but that's kind of what I have for right now. And then
That
I'll bounce back.
that is amazing. Can I just say I love you? I'm so grateful for you every day. Um, you're one of those people that bring out the best in people. And that's also, as big of a gift that can be a big weight. I mean, I want you guys to think about how many of you, we're all on our journey to 200K, right? We're all on our way to 200K. Every single one of us has a different path to get there. And we all want that next thing. How many of you truly feel like you are that next thing? Because I will tell you, the actions will always come before the rank, right? Like, you will always become a 4K or a 12K or 40K, whatever. You will always become the next rank before that dial actually hits. You will have to do the actions. You will have to be capable of dealing with that next level of team problems. As your team grows, you're going to have to be able to fix things. You got to be a fixer. You have to be a counselor. You have to be a good friend. You have to be the person that's always doing more than the rest to set the example. And I think a lot of times we get so lost in this want to be the next thing that we forget to actually be it. And I mean, how many of you really feel worthy of that next part? That's hard. That's really hard. As you start growing in your business, you have to constantly, one of the things I have written down here is write down your why and your purpose. Visualize that your dreams have come true. Feel that gratitude as if your dreams have come true. We forget to do that. We all know our why. If you're here, you know what your why is. And that why changes, but we know what our why is. But when's the last time you actually wrote it down and you really looked at it and you felt it and you felt grateful for it? Because a lot of times, I know what I want, but when's the last time I actually put it to paper? And I said, I am so grateful. I'm telling you, I do the 555 journal. So I manifest, and I was looking back at when I was manifesting 40K, which was a year ago, and I didn't actually hit 40K till January of this year. And I wrote it and I wrote it and I put, I'm so grateful to be a 40K leader. I'm so grateful to be a 40K leader. And I continuously wrote it. And it took me a year to actually feel that gratitude and to be the person I needed to be and the leader I needed to be to get there. So sometimes we forget to appreciate the process. So the next person I want to bring on to give her tips for funks is Joy. If you don't know her story, it is incredibly powerful. We're talking about a woman who went through a double mastectomy the day that I hit my rank, and she hopped on that Zoom in the hospital to celebrate me. And that's what kind of leader she is. And it's so incredibly inspiring because we some of the most impactful leaders just haven't achieved their goals yet. And I hope you guys really get some inspiration from her. So, Joy, if you want to share a little bit about how you push through funks, I think you're the best person for this topic, I swear.
Yeah. Hi guys. So like she said, yeah, I had a double mastectomy because I was diagnosed with cancer in October. And so that goes to my whole part of the funk. In August, I hit that promoter button and I was so excited to start promoting and run with Ashley and Sarah and had all this momentum. And then boom, the doctor calls and says you have breast cancer. Now those words are scary. They're terrifying. And so now, I'm in a funk and I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. I can't battle cancer and be a leader. And, I'm not going to achieve these goals. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's when I realized that, I could do those things. I just had to give myself grace. Take the time. No one says that if you check out for an hour or if you check out for a half a day, like Leonela was saying, that you're doing something wrong. You have to do those things because you have to give yourself grace. And that's what this has taught me. And like she said, I mean, yeah, I was in the hospital. I just had a double mastectomy, but it was a Zoom. I mean, where I wasn't going anywhere. So yes, I was going to celebrate Ashley. I was going to do the things. I laid in my hospital bed. I messaged people. I did the things. And that's what's great about this company is it's from your phone and you can do it anywhere. Um, but I did struggle with time management as far as, you know, going to my treatments and my doctors and my working and all that stuff. And I really had to sit down and say, okay, where do I want to block off the time to work my business? Because in my mind, you have to treat this like any other job and set a time for it. um you know some people, I mean, they have the capability and they love to run it from sun up to sundown, but some of us can't do that, and we have to realize that if you work a 9 to 5 or and you have kids and you have a husband, you need to block off your time. Like they said the other or someone said the other day, like, get up an hour early before your kids get up, or before they go to bed, after they go to bed, an hour after that, and then do your things. You're still doing the things and they're still going to matter. You're just not doing them when everyone else is. And that's another thing when getting in funks. I think a lot of that happens because we compare ourselves to other people. And you cannot compare yourself to someone else. Using someone for inspiration and comparing yourself to them are two completely different things. Like for example, Ashley inspires me. She inspires me to be the leader I want. But I can't compare myself to Ashley because, like she said, it took her a year to hit 40K. I've been doing this 7 months. Like, I can't compare myself to her, but I can take everything she's done and she does, and she can inspire me. And I think that's a big misconception with people is inspiration versus competitiveness. Like, you gotta stop doing that because that gets in your head. But yeah, for me, like when I get in a funk, like Leonela said, you gotta step away and you gotta just self-develop yourself and say, why am I in this funk? And what is it that put me in this funk? And is it really something that I should be in a funk because, or is it something that I should look at in a different aspect and be grateful for? And like she said about doing your gratitude and all that. Right now, I do mine laying in a radiation machine. While I lay there and I get radiation, that's when I lay there and I think of all the things that I'm grateful for, all the things that I can accomplish, how far I've come, and all that. So yeah, I mean, you've gotta find that, and also reach out to anybody and say, hey, look, what are you doing? Can you help me figure this out? This is what my life looks like. You don't have to do this all by yourself. We're all here for you. We're a team. And so, yeah, I think people feel that way. And so, I don't know. I guess I'll start rambling if I don't stop. But yeah, that's really how I feel.
First of all, if there's not one single person on here, you're not inspiring. And when you talk about being in that machine and doing your gratitude, that has to be the most healing thing that you can possibly do. Surrounding yourself with that energy and I know you are wrapping up your cancer journey. You are kicking its butt. And that has to be, your mind is such a powerful thing. And I want you guys to think, we're going to shift over to time management, because this is something that, you guys, I'm going on 3 years in this industry, in this business, and in Lavelle, in this industry, the whole works. And I'm still learning. I am still learning. Anyone that tells you that you will find a perfect balance is lying to you. There will never be a perfect balance. It's impossible, because life is going to continuously throw new things on your plate. You know, there's one thing that we can count on in the world, is that the unexpected is going to happen, period. Once we feel like everything's running smoothly, there's going to be a kink, because and a lot of times we blame the universe for that. We blame things for that. But the reality is, without those kinks, there would be no growth. If you just had a perfect journey and everything was smooth, you would never level up. That those steps that make us stumble are the ones that we're climbing to get to where we want to go. That's a part of the process. And so when something unexpected happens, a flat tire, or something happens, we have to remember to be thankful for that, because that's helping us become a better person. And the other day, well, not the other day, it was a couple weeks ago, but I went to go get an oil change. I got off of work, and I called my husband to tell him I was on my way home. I drive an hour and 8 minutes to work every day. And he says, you need to get an oil change. When's the last time you got an oil change? And I said, I'm tired. I don't want to get an oil change. I want to go home. I just want to go home. And he convinced me, and he nagged at me until I pulled into the oil change place, and I parked, and I got an oil change that was long overdue. And when they had me start the car after the oil change, a huge cloud of smoke comes out of my engine. My starter literally fried while I was sitting in the oil change shop. And I was mad. There was a moment I was like, are you kidding me? That ended up being a $450 ordeal. I thought, are you kidding me? Really, universe? And then I thought, how selfish of me. What are the odds that my car would blow up in a shop? What are the odds? I could have been in the middle of nowhere, in multiple places where there's no reception on my way home. I could have had to have my car towed an hour away from my house. There's so many things that could have happened. I could have been stranded. I could have been hurt. And here I am, breaking down at a shop that can fix my car. And I had the audacity to be mad at the universe. And we always think that we know better than the journey we're on. We don't. So every single part of time management ties into this, because I had to learn. I had to learn a new industry. I'd never done network marketing before. I had to learn how to be a people person. I didn't like people. I didn't like talking. I didn't like myself in the spotlight. I didn't like people judging me. I didn't like all these things were uncomfortable. And I had to learn, and I had to learn how to fit it in my day. When I'm gone for a minimum of 13 hours a day, and I cannot be on my phone at work, period. I cannot touch my phone for business related reasons at work. And I have to run a successful business, and I have to be a mom to 3 kids, one who's now in puberty and causing all kinds of havoc. And I have a husband that has a vintage audio business, and all these things the world still has to go around. And I have to be able to be a leader to my team. I have to be that guest service person for my customers. I have to promote so I can help people live their best life. So I had to figure it out. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we make, going back to what Joy said, is we don't ask for help when we need it. It's one of the most powerful tools we have. We have a community like none other. We have incredible people surrounding us that do better at all the things that we need to do better at. So what is stopping you from reaching out to that person that's doing it better and saying, how are you doing this? Show me your ways. Because it's such an underutilized thing, you guys. If you cannot figure something out, we need to be reaching out. Can't figure it out, reach it out. Because we think we have to be this almighty strong person that does everything on their own. That's exactly the whole point of network marketing, is to do together. We rise by lifting others. That's the whole point. And we let our pride and our ego get in the way of asking. And so when I started this, I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to get my IPAs done? There has not been a day since I started this that I have not done my IPAs. Now, there's obviously been days I have done the bare minimum. There's been days that I've been an overachiever, but I've always done something. So there are non-negotiables that I will do. I will wake up every single day and I will put something positive out there every day. It doesn't matter. I will take my capsules There is nothing, no matter how late I'm running or what's going on in my life, there is nothing so bearing that I can't take 35 seconds and put some kind of positivity out into the world. And I utilize my memories a lot. So now I'm going on 3 years. So I have memories. I have memories to choose from. I can hop on my memories. I can grab a post and tweak it to fit me today. But I'm always going to put something positive out there, something that I'm walking through or something that I'm going through or have just overcome, because I know that's relatable. If I am experiencing some kind of self-doubt or self-love issue or some kind of struggle being a teen mom or a mom of a teen, there are people in my audience that can relate to that. So that's a non-negotiable for me. Positivity every morning, period. I will put something in my stories. There will never be a time that I don't have stories. Stories are one of the easily overlooked. It is such an amazing tool, you guys. You can literally go to your back office. I mean, how many of you have utilized the stories that Lavelle gives us? You can log into your back office. You can go to documents and downloads and resources, and there is like 140 or 170 stories that Lavelle gives to us that we can use. Clear pictures, videos, you can download straight to your phone and upload to your Instagram or Facebook stories. Now, obviously, I put my own unique content out there. I share my life. I share my family. I share my driving to work, driving home from work. I share me. But in a pinch, I can grab a very quality photo or video that Lavelle has already designed for us, and I can pop my 3 steps out there because that's a part of my journey. That's a part of my thing. So if you haven't, log into your back office, go to documents and downloads like you would to find product ingredients, and scroll all the way to the bottom. And it says Facebook and Instagram stories. And there's two downloads. They're like 70 stories each that you can download to your phone. And they're good. They're really good. I mean, we have an incredible company, multi-billion-dollar company that makes dang good social media stories. You can utilize those. And I think it's so important that you're doing your positivity out in the world, something in your stories at all time. You should always have stories going. And I'm going to post something about the products, something about the business, and something about my life every day. Those 5 things, no matter what. And sometimes it's super blatant. Like, listen, who needs money in their pocket by Tuesday? Like, I'm here to help you, calling all moms that need cash now. Sometimes it's me snuggling with my baby and talking about the time freedom and talking about how incredible it is to be able to put food on the table without having to go to another job and take on more in my life. But those 5 things are non-negotiables for me no matter what. And I figured out the best way to work that with my algorithm. I want you guys to think about that today. When is the peak time? If you open Messenger, it will tell you how many of your friends are online. Are you paying attention to that throughout the day? When is, your peak time may be different than mine. When is the majority of your friends on social media? And making sure you're looking at that number fluctuating, because when that number's at its highest, that's when you should be posting engagement posts where you're having people interact, or dropping a product post or a lifestyle post. And so I'm very intentional with that. So I'm going to make a morning post, and then I can't post until the afternoon when I'm done with work. And I'm going to post something engaging. I'm going to sit in my car before I leave, and I'm going to interact with people for 5 to 10 minutes so that my algorithm is up. And then I'm going to drop something that the people can interact with. And that way, by the time I get my hour and 8-minute drive home, I can get home, greet my family, and then I can engage with those people and relationship build. And after I've done that engagement throughout my evening, then I can drop a sale or a business post or whatever, but I'm very intentional with that. So you need to make sure that you have your 6 list or 5 list or whatever it is for you. And no matter what comes your way today, that's going to get done. Even if it means you have to stay up 30 minutes later or whatever. And I'm going to, before I pass it over to Leonela, I'm going to say, now is not the time to overthink your post, you guys. Overthinking is one of the biggest mistakes we make in this business. We think that our posts have to be perfect, our pictures have to be perfect, our words have to be perfect. Nothing matters but the message that you are giving out. People can relate to imperfection, you guys. People can relate to anxiety. People can relate to not being a perfect person. You just have to make sure you're getting that message out there. Don't overthink things. If something's taking you more than 10 minutes to post, you're overthinking it. just get it out there. That's what matters, is the consistency. It matters that you're sharing you. It matters that you're being authentic. The rest of it doesn't matter. So, Leonela, you want to touch on time management a little bit?
Yes. So I want to piggyback off of that because I'm a big overthinker. And what I've been realizing lately, and like something that I repeat to myself, is that either when I'm like scared to show up or when I'm noticing that I'm overthinking, that's when I repeat to myself, like, when you get nervous, like, be of service. And when you're overthinking, like, that is probably the time where somebody needs to hear your message and is probably going through the same thing that you are. Um, I've noticed since I've been showing up more, like being more interactive and live, um, in my stories, people are reaching out to me and they're telling me, "Oh my God, like I love your energy. I love how positive you are. I needed that." You know what I mean? And that's what it's really all about. So when you start to find yourself feeling nervous or scared, like just remember that like you need to be of service to someone else. Like don't be selfish pretty much. And that goes back to, you know, getting out of victim mode and with time management. If we're consistently saying like, "Oh, I'm overwhelmed, like I just don't have the time," like that's what you're going to continue to experience. Something that has really helped me be more aware of my mindset and the way that I think and how important it is lately I have not been feeling well. And I would find myself like saying, "I don't feel good. I don't feel good." And I would have to like stop myself. I'm like, "Oh my God, I have to stop saying that because literally I am bringing that to happen." And I changed the, you know, my thought and directed it to like, "I am healing. I am healed. Like I am well." So again, that like mindset just ties into everything. And I know that I keep talking about that, but it is so important, you guys. And when you start to feel overwhelmed or you feel like you can't do it, that's when you need to shift your mindset and say that I can do this. I need to show up. Someone needs to hear my message. There's someone out there that needs this, you know? And with the time management, like get clear on your vision, get clear on your goal. Set up your goals, write out your goals. Where do you want this to go? How fast do you want this to go? How, you know, how much do you want to bring in with this? How many lives do you want to impact? Like ask yourself those questions and don't forget to make it fun. I feel like, and this is even a message that I have to like even be mindful of for myself, because a lot of the times I do feel that I get, you know, overwhelmed but then I have to stop and I have to find the joy of it. Like what made me want to do this opportunity to help change people's lives. Okay. We have to bring that back to the center of our focus and, you know, make fun out of it, because what we do is fun, you guys. We just overcomplicate it sometimes. So we just have to be mindful when we're kind of stuck in those like negative, lower vibrational mindsets. Um, Let me see what else I have here. Another thing is like I said, when you're nervous, be of service. And this is going to go into like, you know, bringing in new promoters. If we aren't showing up, if we aren't making noise, if we aren't making waves, we are not going to attract our people. Okay. It's so important for us to show up, showing up consistently, posting, going on lives, you know, doing reels, TikToks. Those are things that I need to start doing myself too, because like I said, I've noticed since I've been talking more on my stories, more people are reaching out to me. Okay. So I know a lot of us talk about, you know, struggling with bringing on promoters. And that's what it comes down to. Are we talking about the opportunity enough? I will be honest, for a while, I struggled with talking about the opportunity a lot because I didn't feel confident about where I was at that point. And a lot of the time, some of us don't talk about the opportunity enough because we're worried of being, judged. And that's something that we have to, like, a mindset that we have to work on and get rid of, because again, that's only being selfish. We are not serving the people that need this opportunity or need the products. Okay. If we're not talking about it, our people are not going to know, you guys. So that's really important too. And that's even for myself. Like, I know that I need to show up. I need to show up in more places, because the more places that we're showing up, like I said, the more that our like-minded people are going to find us. Let me see what else I have here. That's pretty much what I have into time management, because most of my other notes ties into really, talking about more in promoting. But I just want you guys to get out of your own way, because that's something that I've been having to work on. Stop making excuses. Ask for help, either if it's in the business and we're reaching out to sidelines, leaders, if it's personal things at home. Don't be afraid to ask your spouse, hey, can you take out the trash for me? Hey, can you do the laundry for me? Like, ask for help. Don't make those excuses, you guys. Because you can find little times in the days to, knock out your IPs and get them done. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to go very far. And that's the reason why you're not seeing success in the business. So let go of your excuses and ask for help.
Joy, do you have anything on time management before we move into promoters?
Yeah, I mean, like she said, time management, you have to figure out what works for you. Like I said, I have to get, like, I get up and I go to radiation. Like, that's why I decided, like, while I'm laying here, what am I going to do? I mean, I can hum to the music that they play, or I can do my gratitude and all that stuff. As soon as I get back, I got 15 minutes before I got to get on my phone to work. I'll do my birthdays, or I'll do something simple. Like she said, load up your stories, make a positive post. But, there are times where you don't, like, your time management is scattered. Like when you have kids, or, you know, whatever, like you don't know what's going to happen. Your kid could fall and, you know, I don't know, bump his head, and now your time management is thrown off. So the asking for help is one thing, but this, I mean, I'm going to tell you flat out, find someone, like I said before, who inspires you, and stalk their page and look at their page and get inspiration. Because then once you get that inspiration, it's so easy just to throw up a quick post, because now, you've kind of stolen their post, but you've made it like yours. And that's nothing bad. I mean, I was told that a long time ago. And that helped me when I first got the cancer, because I thought, God, I don't know what my doctor's plans are. I don't know how I'm going to feel. Like, what am I going to do? And on those days, like, I got to post something. I got to. I would go to Ashley's wall or Sarah's wall, and I would look like 2 years from now, before now. What did they post on this day? Was there something really cool, or was there a picture? I'm going to steal that. Like, do what you got to do, but ask for help, or get the help you need by doing that. I mean, I am loud and proud about, like, borrowing stuff from people, because they're your leaders and they obviously did something right. And so why not use their material? Just like she said, Lavelle has the material in the back office. Our leaders have material that we can borrow and use. So why don't we do that? And that's one thing I learned right now, because there are days I get home and I'm exhausted from the radiation. And, one day I fell asleep on the couch. I'm like, oh my God, it's been 4 hours. I fell asleep. Now I didn't do this and that and this and that. But, I wasn't as freaked about it, because I knew, well, okay, Joy, calm down. You know what to post, you know what to do, but I lost that 4 hours that I had planned to do my IPAs or do these things. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to ask for help. And, the simple things, stories, like she said, they stay up for 24 hours. I will post at least 3 stories in the morning and 3 stories at night, specifically because if I don't get back to those during the day, something's running, something's visible. People are going to see that. So, and that's just my time management.
One of the best tips I ever learned is one, Facebook and Instagram, you can turn on your archive so you can save your stories. So on that day that you had extra time and you made a really awesome series of stories for a business post, you can go back and grab those and reutilize them. Another thing is when you see an incredible person that you follow's story and it's bomb, you can hold your finger down on it so that their name goes away and you can screenshot that and you can add, gifts or whatever, but you can utilize that. And I think so many times we're overcomplicating. We're trying to reinvent the wheel. What we have, the system we have works. And that leads me into bringing on new promoters, because this is something that I personally struggled with when I started this business. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no confidence. This was very new to me. And I really struggled with that duplication. I had no problem doing my IPAs and having that work ethic, but trying to duplicate that was really hard. So if you don't, I don't care if you have no one on your team yet and you're signing your first promoter today, or if you have an entire organization, you have to have a checklist that you go through every single time someone enrolls. It has to be the same system every single time, because how you enroll someone, that's how they're going to enroll their someone. And that's how they're going to enroll their someone. And if you have something set, if you don't have a set checklist, make that the task for today. So that's the extra thing you do today to grow your business on top of your IPAs. You can even ask somebody. I guarantee anyone that's at least a 12K has a system. So reach out to someone and say, hey, listen, can I have your checklist? I want to see what your checklist is. I'm going to duplicate that, because you have to have that thing. So when I have someone new come in, number one, I ask every single person about the opportunity now. Never used to do that. I thought, well, if I'm not successful, how can I ask somebody about the business? It has nothing to do with my success. It has nothing to do with my rank or my paycheck. I am no more likely now at 80K to enroll someone than I was at a brand promoter. It doesn't matter. People don't care about your rank badge. They don't even know what that means. It's irrelevant. What they care about is what opportunity you have to give to them. So it doesn't matter if I had one person on my team or 100, I have the same opportunity that I did when I started this. And so you have to remember that it doesn't matter. Nobody cares what your paycheck is. What do you have that can make their life better? Ask every single person. You guys, it's follow-up Friday. You need to be asking all the people. I will go back through my messages on follow-up Friday, and that message that got ghosted, no matter where that message left off, I will send them a message and I'll say, hey, Mary, I just wanted to check in. You've been on my mind. I know we've talked about Thrive before and it just wasn't your time yet, but I wanted to check in and see, because I have a killer deal going on right now. And there's an incredible bonus happening if you're looking for income. Were you ready to jump in and try the products yet? And I will always apologize to them. Doesn't matter if they've ghosted me for months. I will always apologize. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. Life and business has been crazy, but I can't get you off my mind. I will do those follow-ups all day today because I have something. And then when they sign up, it doesn't matter how much I know or don't know about the business. I'm going to connect them to somebody. I'm going to connect them to whoever they remind me of every single time. And it doesn't matter if they're on my team. If I sign somebody and it reminds me of Leonela, I'm going to say, hey, can you hop in a message with me? I have a new promoter. I'd like her to have someone else that she can reach out to. Guys, nobody cares about organization or who you're under, who benefit. No, that's not what it is here. We help each other. So if I enroll somebody that's going to connect with someone else, I'm going to plug them in. Then I'm going to make sure they have access to the training. I'm going to make sure they know how to log into their back office. I'm going to make sure they get their compliance training done so they can get the $25 in free credit and they can learn how to promote this business in a compliant way. I'm going to make sure that they have access to the team Zooms, because they may not be inspired by me. They may not relate to me at all. They may just want the opportunity I have. So I need them to be able to plug into other leadership so that they can find their person and they can have that community that we have. And I'm going to make sure that they know the basics, how to post, what to post for the first 14 days, and that they can come to me and the person I connected them with whenever. And we're going to be there for them. We're going to hold their hand. Every person that I bring in is going to have a different level of expertise, right? They're going to have a different background and different skills. So I'm going to find out. And then the last thing I want to say on bringing on new promoters is, you guys let your teams grow into leadership. I have people on my team that just haven't hit 4K yet, but are amazing leaders. Like, they will help anyone. They know where to find things. They are incredible leaders. Let your people be leaders. My team is so amazing. They know that when I'm at work from the hours of 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., that if someone asks a question, everybody's jumping in and helping them. They know that I'm not available. And we work together. We use each other's strengths. So that's my biggest tip. Don't be afraid to ask. Do your follow-ups today. Don't skip that IPA today. You have no idea whose car just broke down, or who's going through a divorce, or who is behind on their rent and needs this opportunity. Don't be afraid of the ask. You cannot control the outcome. Stop thinking that the outcome depends on you. It doesn't. The only thing that depends on you is you sharing this opportunity. And if it takes you 100 no's to change that one person's life, those 100 no's are so worth it. If you can make someone debt free or give them the opportunity they've been waiting their life for, those 100 no's are worth it. So stop basing your feelings on the outcome. Doesn't matter. And then Leonela, do you have anything else on the promoters?
Yes, I actually have a few things. So the one tip that I really want to give for people just starting out, or like even myself, because I get real with myself too. And like, I noticed that I wasn't posting enough about the opportunity, and a lot of the reason why a lot of us don't do that is because we use the excuse that, like, we're not there yet. We haven't seen the success yet. And what we need to start posting about is where we're going. Okay. Where is this vehicle, this opportunity taking us? That's what we need to talk more about. So that way people know. This goes again with being, consistent with talking about the opportunity and sharing the opportunity, because if we're not talking about it, people don't know, you guys. And this is why we are not signing people on, or why you're having that problem of not signing people on. And another thing that I want to get into again is the back to the mindset. Get out of the mindset of just like recruiting. To me, like, recruiting is more of like, just signing someone on for personal gain. And I'm not saying that we all just kind of pretty much throw them to the wolves, but you want to think of it more as like a sponsorship. You know what I mean? Sponsoring is coming more from like a heart space. How can I support you in this journey? How can I advocate for you? How can I serve you? That is the mindset that we want to get into. And in the long run, that's how we're going to win long term, is if we're serving people. And this business is built at the speed of love. So if we're helping people get what they want, in the long run, we're going to get more of what we want. So that's something that we kind of have to remember too. Another thing that I wanted to say about promoters too is, if you feel stuck, or you're not sure, like if sometimes you're like, you don't feel like you're a good leader, or you don't have the capabilities, or you're not sure like what to do to be a good leader, like, think about, your sponsor that you joined with. Like, what were they doing to get you to sign, to want to sign on, and do more of that, you guys, and be consistent with it. Make a list of characteristics that you want in a sponsor, and then make a list of things that you need to get better on. And I say this because this is something that I have to do within myself. Like, I'm here preaching this stuff to you guys too, but these are things that I have to work within myself too. So just get real. Figure out the things that you need to get better on. And pen to paper is so powerful, you guys. Like, I'm learning that myself too. So just like I said, get real with yourself. Come from a heart-centered space with actually, serving and helping people, because in the long run, that is going to help you. And another thing that I want to talk about with that Ashley mentioned is, the three ways. Three ways are so powerful, you guys. That's something that I wasn't utilizing before for a very long time because I thought I didn't need it. I thought I could just do it on my own. Once I started utilizing the three ways, like, it has changed my business too, because people are getting that third party validation, and it really changes the game. And it also helps them like have that validation that, wow, this person actually cares for me. They're not just trying to sell me something. They care about me, and they're plugging me in with someone that can relate with me in this situation. So that's really all I have with, promoters. Just be consistent, you guys. Show up. When, you want people to think of you. When people think of, like, and not even just thrive, but like being positive, changing lives, showing up, you want people to think of you. Okay. So make sure that you're showing up in all different areas where people are seeing you. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys with that.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I took so many notes. Like, I literally took so many notes. Joy, now this is something I'm excited for you to touch on real quick, because Joy all of a sudden has a team. She was rolling solo for a while, and now she has a team, and her team is growing, and she has levels, and she's growing with that. So talk to me a little bit about, how are you enrolling these people? What are you doing?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was scared before of that. Like, customers are easy. Like, you just talk about the product and, oh, you want, we got to try this. We got to do the product. When it comes to promoting, a lot of people are like, no, I don't have time for that. I don't have any extra time in my day for that or whatever. But what I learned on a Sunday night Zoom from Stacy is, ask. It's either going to be, what's the difference? They want to know more, or nope, not at all. It's two options. And if they say, nope, not at all, good, you're done. But ask. Like, when you get that customer in your inbox and you're talking product and you're ready to close that sale, ask them, say, so now I'm just curious, did you just want to be a customer, or did you want to hear about the promoting side of this, making some extra money or whatever, however you want to put it. I say it different, obviously, every time. And when they say that, I'll tell you honestly, I'm ready to like throw them in a three-way chat, because like I said, I just started in August and I'm still learning. I'm a 4K, I'm running for 12K. And I tell my team that all the time. Hey guys, I'm learning with you. I'm right here learning with you. So I tell them that right away. I always tell them that. So if I can't answer a question, they know, hey, I'm not pushing you off on Sarah. I'm not pushing you off on Ashley or someone else. It's just, I don't have the answer. So let's go ask them together and figure it out together. And that's something new, that I think everyone should know. When you get a team, it's overwhelming. Like, oh my God, now I got these promoters and I got to be this like big dog, and I got to be like there every second of the day, and I got to have every answer in the book. No, you don't. You can utilize everybody. And Zooms are powerful. Listening to the Zooms, listening to what they say, writing down what they say. That's why, I'll go back to like the whole stalking someone at the top. I mean, I've stalked Maria Diller's page just to see what she posts, like see what they do, because that's why we do the Zoom. So we can teach you what we do, and everyone can teach each other. So, it's not like you should ever feel guilty, like that you're not doing this like by yourself, because it's not you. And that's one thing I've learned. But yeah, you got to ask the question like right off the bat. Just ask it. Do you want to be a customer, or would you like to make some money? And they're going to either say no, or they're going to say, what's the difference? Tell me more. So that's one thing I had to learn to do. And when I heard her say that, I thought, you know what? Fine, I'm going to try it. And I tried it.
And gosh, first of
But
all, I'm so
yeah,
grateful
so
for
that's
you
pretty much.
ladies. Before we move to 100 Days to Brave, I just want to say I'm so grateful for both of you. I learn so much from both of you all the time. And I'm just so grateful to have you in my life. And I hope every single one of you on here today knows how worthy you are, truly worthy of success. You are so worthy of being financially free. You you are so worthy. For some reason along the ways, money became a dirty word. It is not a dirty word. It's only dirty if you do dirty things with it. It's an incredible word. It's a link to another form of freedom, and you deserve that. You deserve to not have the weight of debt on your chest. You deserve to have a massive team that you learn and grow with. You deserve to have the option to do whatever you want to do. There is nothing that you aren't deserving of. So today we're going to go get it. Today we're going to do the ask. We are going to, guys, it's payday for most of the world. Let's make the change. Let's change some lives together, and let's use each other. Let's utilize each other, I should say. And let's grow. It's time to grow. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop letting that lying fear voice in our head dictate what we do next. It doesn't get that power over us anymore. We're going to prove it wrong, right? So I'm so grateful for everybody hopping on. I'm so grateful for this team, this tribe, these Zooms. We're going to hop over to 100 Days of Brave now to end it out.
All right, I had to unmute. Okay, day 55, say no. But even if he does not rescue us, we want you to know, Your Majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold that you have set up. Daniel 3:18. You may have heard me talk about this before, but I am deeply moved by the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel 3. These young Israelite men were captured as slaves when they were just teenagers and taken to Babylon with Daniel. In Daniel 1, we see them say no to meats and rich foods for 10 days. And at the end of it, they are honored for their strength, especially in the face of eating much less than the other soldiers in training. Years later, those young men were administrators over all of Babylon, and Daniel was serving at the royal court. King Nebuchadnezzar built a massive gold statue 90 feet high and 9 feet wide. And then he decided that everyone in town had to bow to the statue and worship it whenever the music played. And anyone who didn't would be thrown into a blazing furnace. Our guys worshiped the one true God and had no interest in bowing to anything else. They said no when the rest of the people said yes. Can you imagine that courage to stand when everyone else bows, knowing the result, knowing who you are and how much you are respected, yet choosing to go against your boss, namely the king, in a life-threatening way? Look at today's verse. Even if he does not, even if God does not rescue us from this, we will say no. I hope I always have the courage to say, I know what God can do, but even if he doesn't, I still won't worship idols. I will still worship the one true God. I know God can heal my friend's illness, but even if he doesn't. I know God can fix relationships, but even if he doesn't. I know God can provide a spouse, but even if he doesn't. I know God can provide for me financially, but even if he doesn't. Right? Even if he doesn't. These three said it. No one in their lives were on the line, and they never looked back. They were brave. They said no, and even when the voices of fear must have been whispering to them, they didn't listen. They stood there in their no and believed that God is still God. A lot of courageous no's make for some beautiful, brave yeses. I'm not sure you're going to get it right every time, saying the right yeses and the right no's. I don't get it right all the time, but courage doesn't equal right. Courage equals stepping out and trying. Be brave and say yes, but also be brave and say no. Jump on the float, walk into the furnace, stand up, sit down, get on that flight, say the thing that courage asks you to say, even if it's the word no. Today's task, be brave. What's one thing you can say no to today that will make space for some better yeses in the future?
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.